Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about everything that can go wrong with this Indian motorcycle sell-off and what could kind of kill off Indian. Rivalry, Indian, Harley, head-to-head, who's the best? A private equity company has bought out Indian, what could go wrong? Alright, so if you watched my last video, we dived deep into everything and anything you need to know about this whole sell-off, Polaris selling off Indian to a private equity. So in that video we talk about Polaris, we talk about the new company, we talk about Indian, we talk about anything and everything you need to know. In this video we're going to be just focusing on what could go wrong, because there's a lot of things that could go wrong. And I wanted to start off with a very important topic, if not the most important topic. The most important point on what could obviously go wrong with this movement and what could kind of kill off Indian. The King of the Baggers racing team. Could that be going away? Now, we're not strangers to what happens to companies when they're bought out by another company, when there's new management. It's pretty safe to say that anytime it happens, there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of fat to get trimmed. And what do those things happen most of the time? In the fun areas of any type of company or sport. For instance, the King of the Baggers race. They might look at that and be like, well, why are we doing this? We could be saving a ton of money by not investing into this racing team and taking this money and put it into development or something else or whatnot. When in reality, the racing team is kind of part of development. It's something that could happen. Now, them doing that is gonna really hurt the company. Why? You may ask yourself. It's a big stage. It's clearly the biggest stage where Indian goes head to head with Harley Davidson on the racetrack to see who the best is, to see who has the fastest bike. And it's probably safe to say that within the last few years, the sport has grown so much because of this rivalry. Indian, Harley, head to head, who's the best, right? Without that, what do you have? You have, if let's just say Indian leaves, you have Harley competing against Harley, and how fun is that? That's like to say if Harley was to leave King of the Baggers and the Indian stays, who's Indian going to compete with? You know, it's like it kind of takes the aura away from everything, and it's like, well, what are we doing here now, right? I think that there's a lot that goes on with these races. Once again, I'm going to mention product development. There's a lot of things that get tested on these racetracks, on these bikes, that kind of trickle their way down to the bikes that you and I ride on a day-to-day basis. And it's very important for that. They might not look at it from that end. They might look at it as like, well, we're going to develop our own bikes and our own product development team, and they're going to do this. But you're taking the excitement away from the sport. You're taking the excitement away from the fans who want to see a competitive environment between two juggernaut companies, two American iconic companies like that. So, I don't know. I think I'm pretty scared because I think that this could be a possibility where they could be like, well, yeah, let's scratch the racing team and let's take that money and invest it in somewhere else. It would be a sad day. I think it would put a dagger into what Indian was, and ever will be. That's how important I think the racing team is at the moment. All right, number 2, new inventory and the lack of product development. Very important. I don't know what this company is going to be doing with Indian. I don't know if they're going to sit on the product that they have at the moment and think that they're going to thrive and be successful with whatever they have. Because if that's the case, they're not. As a company, you need to develop, you need to evolve. And obviously, as a motorcycle company, you need to develop new product, right? You need to target new demographics, target certain trends that are going on, and work with different technology and performances and everything. So that to me would be another important factor. Hopefully they get on board and they're able to develop and bring something new, new design or new different bike within the next year or two. Who knows? A lot of these companies, most of the time, they're constantly building and developing new stuff, new ideas, new motorcycles, and half of the time they don't make it to market. Sometimes they're just overlooked. Maybe they want to go a different direction. So even if they're not sitting down right now to develop and design something brand new, I'm pretty sure Indian in the past few years has developed or designed a bunch of new motorcycles that never made it to the market. So maybe opening up or shedding a light on those ideas would be a pretty good idea. But if not, that would probably put another dagger in the company. Another one, this is one of my favorite ones as well. A lack of marketing and a lack of promotion. And another area where companies tend to kind of cut the fat at times, and it hurts them in the long run, right? I think marketing in today's age is so important. Even with this, what we're doing right now, this YouTube thing we're doing right now, what influencers have been doing for the past few years, not only for Indian, but for any company throughout the industry. Marketing is so important in the growth of a company. It's hard not to grow, it's hard not to expand, it's hard not to make your footprint without any type of marketing or promotion, making people aware of what's going on within your company and being able to sell your product to more people. So that's very, very important. But once again, that's one of the things that a lot of the companies, sometimes they cut the fat in and they think it's gonna help out, and it doesn't. So another dagger that could really, really hurt Indian in the years to come. And last but not least, will this company just dissolve Indian? Will this company maybe just pump it up and sell it to the next company, and then that'll be the end of Indian right there? I was really surprised that another automobile company or maybe another motorcycle company in the industry didn't buy Indian. And here, this private equity came in and scooped it up. Weird, strange. But I just hope it's not one of those things where you have this juggernaut of a company coming in to pump it up and make it look pretty, to sell it off, and then it goes to shit. I would hate to see that happen. I really would. I don't know. You know, Indian being owned by Polaris in the last few years, Polaris giving Indian a life, I think was awesome. And I think what Polaris has done with Indian was really good. I think they were heading in the right direction. A lot of things they could have done different, focusing on different type of products, but they revived the company. They did well. And I just hope I hope what's gonna happen to Indian now is not what happened to Victory. I mean, I was never a Victory fan, you know, but it sucks to those people that were fans of Victory. It sucks to see any type of big, huge company close. You know, it just kills the competitiveness, and it's sad in a way when you think about these old companies that are no longer with us, you know. Can you imagine if a lot of these older companies were still around? Companies like Henderson. If you look at these old Henderson bikes, they look so freaking cool. In the early days of motorcycles, I mean, Indian they bought out all these other companies. There were tons of other motorcycle companies, and what Indian did was that they bought them all out just to kill the competition. But can you imagine if at least 2 or 3 of those companies were still around and the type of motorcycles that we would have been seeing right now? I think it would have been a different world, man. It would have been pretty cool. All I'm saying is that it would just be sad to see Indian once again close down or take the Victory route. Anyways, what are your thoughts and your comments? Drop them down below. Let's comment, let's have a conversation. If you're new to this channel, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, send this to your friends. And if you haven't seen the last video where we go over all information, there's a ton of information on there about everything and anything you need to know about this whole sell-off. So I'm gonna be linking that towards the end. Watch that video as well. And I am gonna catch you on the next one. Like always, let the force be with you. Ride safe and enjoy the ride, baby. Peace.